Welcome to Asian American Life. I'm Ernabelle DeMillo. It's hard to believe that it's been 1 year since coronavirus was declared a public health emergency, and it has taken an unimaginable toll on everyone, including us here at Asian American Life. We lost a friend and an icon to COVID-19. I first met Corky Lee back in 1996 when I moved to New York City. Corky devoted his life making sure Asian Pacific Americans were visible and made sure that our history was a part of American history. So we dedicate this show to him and to all the frontline workers who inspire us during these challenging times. Now, here's a look at what's ahead on our show. Hidden Heroes, my special report on the Filipino nurses who are fighting the second wave of the pandemic. And Minnie Rowe reports on the impact of zip code gentrification in New York's Chinatown. Plus, Kyung Yoon celebrates the life and achievements of photographer Corky Lee. This and more on Asian American Life. It has been a challenging year for essential workers, especially frontline nurses. Today, we focus on the Filipino American nurses hit hard by the pandemic. For frontline nurses, it felt like a battle zone.
There were moments of depression and anxiety because you did see so much more than you were anticipating. And I know many people have heard this before, that there are some nurses who have been in the military and they've compared it to, battle zones.
Miguel Sabavaro, known as Miggy to his friends, was called up to work at Elmhurst Hospital Center in March 2020, at the time the country's epicenter of COVID-19. He revealed to us that it was so bad at one point he had suicidal thoughts.
For me, my focus right now, I am raising a mental health awareness because I am speaking from my experience. I actually was recovering from a suicide attempt due to this pandemic. So this is really personal for me.
For the Filipino American nursing community and their families, it has been a year filled with heartbreak. Tribute pages and memorials like the one created by the website Kanlungan illustrate the toll the pandemic has had. According to the National Nurses United Union, 1/3 of nurses who died from COVID between March and September 2020 were Filipino.
There has been an incredible, disproportionate, and devastating toll on Filipino nurses in the United States during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Catherine Siniza Choi is author of Empire of Care, Nursing and Migration in Filipino American History. Since 1960, over 150,000 Filipino nurses have migrated to the U.S., and this number does not include U.S.-born Filipino Americans who choose nursing as a profession.
As a result of this migration of Filipino nurses specifically, they have comprised really the largest group of foreign-trained nurses in the United States. So that's the reason why there's so much focus on Filipino nurses.
Nursing's history in the Philippines began during U.S. colonialism from 1898 to 1946, a story recently told in the documentary The Strength of Many, highlighting the contributions of Filipino nurses and their leadership with the National Nurses United Union.
So let me ask you this. Whose hospital? Our hospital. Whose patients? Our patients.
One of the most important legacies of that colonial relationship was the implementation of Americanized education in the Philippines, and specifically the creation under US colonialism of an Americanized training hospital system that trained Filipino nurses in an Americanized nursing curriculum, and then also trained them to have fluency in the English language.
U.S. hospitals actively recruited Filipino nurses to fill shortages, especially in inner-city hospitals. Zenaida Magnay-Banzon, now the executive director of nursing at Queen's Hospital, arrived in New York during the height of the AIDS pandemic.
I've been through so many crises, health crisis, and community crisis, health crisis situation.
Potri Rancamanes was recruited by the now shuttered Cabrini Medical Center to work with AIDS and HIV patients.
If you will see Filipino nurses, they don't complain. We don't complain. We always look at our patient as us, like the prism. I think that's a training of the Filipinos, that our compassion has gone beyond the dollar. We even forget about salary just to take care of a patient.
Today, both women are on the front lines of COVID. For Magnay-Banzon, it has been a frustrating year, not only worrying about the spread of COVID, but of misinformation.
Never to this magnitude that the public has no trust in the health experts. That simple initiative such as putting masks is hard to do, which could save lives.
COVID-19 has also taken a toll on the mental health of nurses. According to a recent study, 93% of healthcare workers are experiencing stress, not only worried about their own health, but their families.
Every frontline worker has that burden of coming home and thinking, like, could I be the one to cause their illness, which is a terrible guilt and shame and weight to carry with you.
What's helping you get through all this?
Definitely having the support system, being able to talk about it out loud to coworkers, to my family members, especially my husband, just having the outlet. And then taking small steps, being cognizant of what emotions are coming to me.
Sal Bavaro, who is back on the front lines after taking a few months' leave, is urging other health workers not to ignore the signs.
For all the New Yorkers out there, Filipino nurses, everyone, we have a lot of resources here in New York City. You can seek help if you feel like you're burning out.
Advocates say the health of our nurses is an urgent public matter, not just for the Filipino community, but for everyone.
We need to care for Filipino nurses, for the future of Filipino Americans, for the survival of all Americans.
I'm Ernabelle DeMillo for Asian American Life.
I'm Minnie Rowe. It's been about a year since a pandemic forced the nation into lockdown mode, and the impact to businesses and restaurants across the country was almost immediate. New York City's Chinatown hasn't been the same since, so when city officials announced a multi-million-dollar loan for low to moderate income businesses, you could almost hear the collective sigh of relief. But for people here in the heart of Chinatown, their elation was short-lived.
1 year after the pandemic, Kam Hing Bakery is still going strong.
My dad's bakery has been here for 30 years, and for it to go, you lose all those memories.
Liz Yi followed the family tradition by opening Tony's Fresh Rice Noodles a few blocks away. Both stores are in New York City's Chinatown.
When the pandemic struck, it was actually kind of scary because Chinatown actually became a ghost town. We had to actually close down my dad's bakery because we weren't able to sustain it.
But through sheer hard work,
there was days where my family and us, we would work like 18, 19 hours.
Both stores managed to stay afloat in the end. For how much longer is the question.
We can't consider the future because if we close down the store, I don't know what I'm going to be doing.
So when Yi found out that the New York City Department of Small Business Services was rolling out a $35 million zero-interest loan for small businesses like hers, she rejoiced, thinking the dark days were finally behind her.
I thought there would be a chance where I can get some of this weight off my shoulder, where we don't have to have a financial burden. And then pretty much I heard that 113 wasn't part of it.
Tony's is located just off Mott Street in this small pocket of zip code 10013 that stretches west to the Hudson River. It is indisputably the heart of Chinatown. It's where Lunar New Year celebrations take place every year. It was also one of the many areas nationwide that took a devastating blow during the height of the pandemic. But because of Small Business Services, or SBS, use zip codes to identify low to moderate income areas, 10013 didn't qualify. While census data shows that the median family income where Tony's is located is just under $40,000, within the same zip code is Tribeca, where the median family income is over $300,000. And just 2 blocks away from Tony's, businesses in this part of Chinatown did qualify for the loan because it's in another zip code.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking.
The bulk of what every New Yorker and every American thinks of Chinatown was actually left out of this potentially great program.
Community activists Yin Kong and Jan Lee say the terms of this low to moderate income storefront loan, up to $100,000 per qualifying business with no payments for the first 6 months and 0% interest, would have made a world of difference for those who are struggling to survive every day. They applaud the intent behind the LMI loan, as it's called, but argue that zip codes, primarily used by the Postal Service to route mail, cannot be used to measure economic need.
The zip codes are too large, right? It's like trying to do surgery with a butcher's knife. It doesn't make any sense. You need a scalpel to really be able to have that precision to determine need.
When we raise the flag and we say, hey, there's an issue going on here, you seem to have left out the zip code that captures the vast majority of Chinatown small businesses. Why not try to rectify this in a timely manner?
But it took 5 weeks before the community leaders say they could secure a meeting with the SBS, during which time the $35 million, which was first come, first served in a phased approach, whittled away as the heart of Chinatown languished.
In the 5 weeks, we probably lost many more jobs. We probably lost many more businesses. The feedback we got from Small Business Services is that they did receive applications from Asian businesses, but that doesn't help us in Chinatown.
In this letter, SBS Commissioner Janelle Dorris outlined several alternatives to support businesses that had been shut out of the LMI loan. But Kong and Lee say that's too little too late, and along with their elected officials, responded with this letter demanding, quote, equal funding to businesses excluded by the LMI storefront loan program. The community is still waiting for a response.
When you are entrusted with money to be distributed, and it is your sole job to do it, you have to take responsibility to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
It's always an emergency, right? It's going to happen again. We need to put into an actionable procedure that future administrations will be able to use.
You and I agree that in our lifetime, COVID-19 has been the most devastating.
Chinatown leaders weren't the only ones asking questions. During January's hearing of the Committee on Small Business, the LMI loan was just one of several pandemic relief programs that the SBS commissioner had to defend.
I believe we do value very much so our small businesses.
After an hour of meticulous review, Committee Chair Mark Jonai uncovered that of New York City's
$89 billion budget.
$4 million that the city put into the fund.
$4 million.
You heard right. Only $4 million of taxpayer money went towards small business pandemic relief. That equals about $16 for each business.
New York City, that could not possibly survive without the small businesses that make New York City such a vibrant place, told our small businesses, drop dead, you don't matter. This is criminal. I'm ashamed to be a part of a government that could not do the right thing for New Yorkers in their most dire time of need.
New Yorkers in need like Yi, who is just grateful for every person who walks through her door, trying to keep her store open because to her, Tony's isn't just a business, it's personal.
This store is here for good, you know. You bring your kids' generation over. We want you to remember your grandparents. We want you to remember your mom. I've seen a lot of stores that I went to when I was a kid with my family close their doors for good. And I was just devastated.
So she plans to stick it out, one rice noodle at a time.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Bye-bye.
I also contacted the SBS commissioner for comment on the story, but I haven't heard back. However, community leaders tell me that because they raised the flag on this issue, the SBS has now created a task force, and they plan to meet with Asian small business owners and the community on a regular basis going forward. I'm Minnie Rowe for Asian American Life.
In the best of times and in the worst of times, New York City's Chinatown is an anchor for many in the Asian American community. For Sabrina Choke, it's home.
And I think it's a tight-knit community. You kind of see a lot of people, they look out for you.
But tourists and visitors stopped coming when the anti-Asian rhetoric about COVID-19 started in the beginning of the year. Chinatown was a ghost town.
The streets were a lot more desolate. You didn't have the crowds anymore. These businesses that usually would be filled to the brim, lines and lines of people waiting for dim sum, all of a sudden, tourists are a big part of the consumer base.
Sabrina and two of her friends at Harvard College pulled together $150 and launched Sticky Locals to elevate Chinatown institutions like Nam Hua Tea Parlor and Wing Hing.
We brought together students who knew how to design. We brought together businesses that didn't necessarily have an online presence, and we created these stickers that allowed anyone from all over the US to support these businesses from afar.
Sabrina says the response has been overwhelming. Their initial $150 startup costs has multiplied to almost $6,000.
People like putting stickers like on the street, like on street signs, like just on the walls, on their laptops, on their water bottles and everything. I think a sticker really represents like, oh, I believe in this brand. And so it's $5. You can put it anywhere. It looks really cool. And it's something that you don't have to invest a lot in to support.
Caitlin Lamb designed this mahjong sticker to promote Send Chinatown Love, a volunteer-run organization helping mom-and-pop shops.
These are the businesses that kind of really make up the fabric of Chinatown. A lot of these businesses wouldn't ordinarily have access to this kind of digital help because they don't have POS systems. They don't have an online platform that they can utilize outside from their physical shop. So our goal is to kind of be that for them.
This montage from Send Chinatown Love sums up this global community's affection for Chinatown.
That video, I think, really just represents Chinatown as kind of like a hug. It represents, like, you know, all of your aunties and uncles and grandparents that may be living far away. And I think for a lot of us, it transports us to a place that reminds us of our families.
For more information, go to www.stickylocals.com and www.sendchinatownlove.com. For Asian American Life, this is Rainer Ramirez.
Corky Lee often said that his camera was his sword to fight racism and inequality. And for 50 years, he wielded that sword to give Asian Americans representation and justice, one photograph at a time.
Okay.
When he passed away in January at the age of 73 from complications of COVID, Corky Lee left behind an extraordinary and important body of work covering the past half-century of Asian American history.
I think that a single photograph resonates longer in people's memory. Photographs give Asian American kids a visibility about their culture and about the history of Asians in this country. And that's my primary mission.
Born and raised in Queens, New York, Corky studied American history at Queens College.
We read in the history books that America's a nation of immigrants. I just want to say that Asians in this country are part and parcel of a much larger picture.
But that picture, he noticed from an early age, often excluded Asian Americans.
The seed was originally planted in junior high school when I saw that photograph of the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad in 1869. I had read in the history book that there were thousands of Chinese that worked on the railroad, and I said, well, Jesus, if there's a celebratory photograph, there must be, let me count how many Chinese, right? Because there's like photographic proof, that term. So I looked and I couldn't see any. I went and bought a magnifying glass, still could not see any. I thought, well, where are the Chinese?
On the 145th anniversary of the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad, Corky helped to reenact the Promontory Summit photo, this time including descendants of the Chinese railroad workers and other Asian Americans. He called his work Photographic Justice, and it spoke to his activism.
The purpose was for Chinese Americans to reclaim part of their history. But in doing so, they're reclaiming American history that's basically been omitted or denied our participation. And that was the first major contribution to making America great.
I got to know Corky in the 1990s when we were both active in the New York chapter of the Asian American Journalists Association. He was a friend and a mentor, a photojournalist who would faithfully show up with his camera at every community rally, gala, health fair, protest march, and of course, it wouldn't be a parade without Corky taking photos of the dancers, musicians, and marchers. You could count on Corky to capture the celebrations and struggles of everyday Asian Americans that might otherwise have gone unnoticed. In 1975, Corky's photograph of a Chinese-American man named Peter Yu, who'd been beaten by police in New York's Chinatown, wound up on the cover of the New York Post and sparked protests against police brutality by Chinatown residents.
The image was so shocking to a wide audience because people have never seen Chinese protesting police brutality.
He went on to photograph what would become iconic images of Asian American activism in the battle for civil rights, people demanding justice, fair wages, jobs, and equality, all the way up to the recent protests against anti-Asian racism in the wake of COVID. But Corky also made time to chronicle the everyday lives of ordinary people, shining a light on Asian Americans in their workplace and community.
Now, this photograph is more photo documentation, okay?
Throughout his life, Corky was passionate about teaching and inspiring others to take up the call of photographic justice.
I'm just one person that's trying to do this. If there are more people, if I encourage more people to go out there to take more photographs of Asian Pacific Americans, it becomes a tsunami wave that they can't deny.
Photographer, activist, mentor, and friend, now a legend. Corky Lee's legacy will live on through his photographs and the people he has inspired for generations to come. Kyung Yoon, Asian American Life.
That's our show for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to learn more about these stories and more, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Asian American Life. I'm Ernabelle DeMillo. We'll see you next time.